If you go back to the beginning of the gay rights movement, it wasn't very universal agreement. It was pretty divided in the 80s and 90s, which is when the rubber really hit the road.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think kind of then? Where do you think this heads to next? Where do you think the end game is for this? Do you think
I think it's going to
continue to head in this direction?
Yeah, I think it's going to continue along the projection that lesbian and gay. We'll specifically keep it lesbian and gay.
Yeah.
Because those are pretty widely accepted at this point. It was kind of a long campaign, but here we are. We're living in a society.
You see lots of Republicans.
Yeah, we're living in a society with a pretty bipartisan support behind that.
Yeah.
It did take decades though, and I think sadly, I wish it wouldn't, but I do think realistically that's where the transgender movement's headed.
I think the place we could be headed, and you can always count on Republicans to fail to do their part. So, this could all be enshrined in federal law. But what I see happening with a lot of this is, it does keep going in this direction, specifically in the bluest of states.
Oh, yeah.
And you start to see that kind of red-blue country divide, which will never lead to a civil war, of course, because instead of, the North and the South, it's going to be, sprinkled throughout. You got your red states mixed up with your blue states. But you're going to see two different countries. You're going to go to California, and you're going to see all kinds of places, all kinds of gay bars where there's kids attending drag shows. And, I did look up, there are some images of actually a woman, a burlesque stripper, where she went to kind of a brunch situation, and there was a little girl there, and she's putting like money in her bra as well.
Oh,
so all this sexualization, it's going to continue in those places. But I do think red states are going to start heading in the opposite direction.
Oh, I agree.
From this quite a bit.
And I think so much of it will come down to the state level. I've been predicting for a long time that, like you said, there's not going to be a civil war. People aren't going to take this out in the battlefield, but it will just be the increasing polarization of society of just, your red states, your Republican conservatives start settling in places. We're already seeing this with Texas.
Right.
If you disagree with the state's laws, you move to Texas.